welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace, and joining me now is Miguel Braojos from HID Global, and we're going to be discussing building trust with advanced authentication technology. Hello Miguel, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Firstly, setting the scene, how do you think banks can go beyond simple compliance?
Compliance can be turned into a competitive advantage, as it is really an opportunity to change how the banks interact with their customers. I'd like to highlight two areas of opportunity here. The first one is a better user experience. This is absolutely key to build customer trust. But how to achieve this? It is well known that all banks want to leverage the agile and innovative approach of the new fintechs, and that the traditional banks are eager to build an ecosystem where the fintechs will have enough autonomy to maintain their dynamism and at the same time stay close enough to the financial institutions to be able to deliver their service on a larger scale. By deploying the fintech apps, they can build on top of their traditional offering. They will be in a position to capture new opportunities since this market change is opening the door to new and better financial services, such as borderless instant payments or automated investment services or robo-advisor, and all this for the banks mean a lower network cost. So this is the promise of ubiquity and expanded banking services. However, many market studies have highlighted that the barrier to end-user adoption is the need for better security to build trust. Security is really a critical element for the new digital banking services, but security cannot be an afterthought. It has to be provided by robust commercial IT security vendors with a track record of successfully delivery on a large scale and many years of experience in the financial industry. So this security layer is what creates the consumer trust on digital channel that will result in quicker adoption of the new banking services. If the first element was the user experience as a business growth engine, the second element I'd like to highlight is the creation of digital identities. Suffice to say that it's a business driver for financial institutions. Why? Because banking needs to adhere to compliance demands, and obviously one of the compliance is open standard. Those APIs need to be shared through third party and common application interface, but they need to be maintained highly secure. So can this be achieved with enhanced digital identities while also increasing customer acquisition and retention? Well, only if there is a secure environment where users feel confident about taking advantage of the full range of services that are available to them. So, as I said, the new financial services platform, when launched, are a key element for the financial institutions to leverage centralized digital IDs. So I think this really checks all the boxes with the new environment that banks can implement in this area.
All right, and how can you build customer trust through innovation?
I'd like to highlight several innovation trends happening in the market today. The first one is the growing adoption of adaptive security. Our digital, mobile and virtualized way of life has brought many advantages, but it also has increased the threat and attack possibilities on ourselves. So we need to consider, for example, mobile devices and data in the cloud that, while are very convenient and always available, are less secure. If we take all these components together, this is a perfect scenario for the hackers, because we know that cyber attacks have been growing in number and complexity lately. So cyber criminals are interested really in one of the things that are worth protecting, which are money, people and secrets. They're using more and more advanced and automated tools like artificial intelligence and machine learning, and go to great lengths to probe defenses continuously and varying tactics to break protection and achieve their goals. That is the reason that the first objective is to make sure that the user is who he pretends to be, authenticating the user, while his environment is also safe and his data remains anonymous and not connected to him. Security can no longer be static. It needs to watch, listen and evolve with the threat. That is what we call adaptive security. Another trend is that multi-factor authentication is merging with threat and fraud detection for a frictionless security and a smoother user experience. Why? Let's have a closer look at the mobile environment user validation. Multi-factor authentication has replaced the insecure and cumbersome single factor, well, that was username and password, But even this two-factor authentication is no longer enough, as there is not much value on a strong authentication using a device that has been already compromised, the mobile phone. Wow, how did that happen? Let me explain. Biometry for mobile devices was adopted almost overnight, and it creates a perception that the device is protected and a password is no longer required. But mobile biometry is about convenience, not security. Indeed, it's easier to smile at the phone or to place a finger on the sensor than remembering and typing and copying a PIN or a password. But to increase user convenience and to have fewer failed attempts, a compromise needs to be made, has been made by the manufacturer between a strong validation rules and convenience. So the threshold of security for fingerprint validation has been so low that there is very poor protection against false positives, but a very rewarding user experience, so access is granted easily. For comparison purposes, this is like having like a 2-digit PIN code versus a one-time password. We need to assume then that the device is insecure to all effects and has been potentially compromised already. So the problem is that the end users are expecting both better solutions with a better user experience and also an increase in security. But as we know, a chain is as weak as the weakest link. So we need to bypass completely the mobile terminal and any other insecure element, assume, as I said, they have been compromised. So currently it is not only the user that needs to be authentication, the browser, the user device, the application has using the transaction and the transaction itself, asking for a new loan, adding a beneficiary and so on, that could be fraudulent. So this scenario is shaping a new paradigm of the authentication solution. The result is the merging of the multi-factor authentication with the machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithms, building a new data intelligent authentication. This is being known as authentication 2.0 versus the old static authentication mechanisms. Authentication 2.0 is about the analysis of the user environment, the monitoring of hundreds of parameters, like the way we type, for example, and not the content that we type, that is irrelevant, and scoring this transaction risk, and then choosing the right level of authentication that is correct for this user and this level of this transaction. It is linear, it offers a better security level with an optimized user experience, but it also reduces operational cost and of course the fraud potential and the fraud level. But most importantly, is future-proof, is dynamic, and is a system that adapts not only to the frauds that exist today, but is constantly learning and preventing what will happen in the future, is risk-based.
All right, and you've mentioned there risk-based advanced authentication. Can you expand on this?
As part of the regulatory environment, financial institutions need to adopt open banking, ensuring that customer data is shared through third parties and common APIs remain fully secure. Enhancing digital identities increases customer acquisition and retention, as we said before, so the users feel confident to take advantage of the full range of innovative services available to them. But the authentication and security solutions will have to comply with regulations like PSD2, HKMA, and FFIEC to protect multi-channel banking. At HID, we recommend a multi-layer authentication process with 5 hidden layers to guarantee secure transaction signing, but still with an intuitive user experience. As we say in the HID and Finextra digital ecosystems of the future white paper, if identity is the new money, then digital identity applications are the new financial services. Banks have all the assets required to make a success of this new business model, using PSD2 compliance as the competitive advantage. A threat and fraud detection solutions use real-time risk profiling technologies. It protects against known threats and is vigilant for new threats, the zero-day exploits as they are known. This is done using a combination of evidence-based threat detection capabilities, anomaly detection, and behavioral biometrics, supported by machine learning, which is critical to stay in sync with the ever-changing threat landscape of modern banking applications and the threat that the attackers pose on them. In summary, digital transformation brings lots of opportunities, but also poses threats and security challenges. But financial institutions using the authentication 2.0 technologies based on data intelligence are in good position to grow their business while protecting their corporate reputation and customer base. In this challenging new environment, Financial institutions can migrate the fraud risk and stay safe against increasingly sophisticated attacks while delivering a frictionless and rich user experience.
Miguel, this has been great. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for watching.